Hello, my name is Christian, and this is a Christian rock-u-mentary. From 1984 to 1990 was a moment in time for Salt Lake City's youth culture. Punk and new wave had given way to hardcore music, which was more dialed in and truer to the way we kids were feeling at the time. Most of us kids were in high school then and about to graduate, but we were also going to all the punk gigs that were going on around town to see live music. Live music was really important to us, and back then we saw most of our music at parties. We were too young to get into the drinking establishments, so we first saw our live music at parties, festivals, the arts festival, the fairgrounds, things like that. Places that were okay for younger people to go to, where we were frequenting to see our music. Some of my best memories are of 004, a local favorite back then, that would be playing the Arts Festival. And we would all show up from all over the valley just to skank and dance. It was so much fun. It was at events like these that the different groups of punks from all around the valley would congregate and eventually meet. So in many ways, the music brought us together, and that was neat because a community was born, and music was what made that happen. You might not actually know somebody, but through seeing these people, through just the eye contact of being out on the floor or in the pit with these kids from different parts of the valley, it became a community just through sight and attending events. Because most of us were under 21, places that hosted these underage or all-age shows were the meeting places. So, frat parties, house parties, desert shows, the community center, the Maxim, the Word, the Salt Lake Urban Indian Walk-In Center, the Speedway and Ranch. These places became meeting places. When one of these places would, have a show, the plans were made, somebody would drop some kind of cool flyer, and by the way, the more offensive the better, and word would go out, usually word of mouth. Flyers were copied and handed out to friends, and it would spread across the valley like wildfire. And many of us collected these flyers and hung them up in our rooms just to remember all the cool shows that we went to, and we really dug the art. Once we knew about a show, we would make arrangements with our parents, our plans would be set, and that's all we'd talk about all week long in school. We'd be getting ready to go to the show. We're going to the show. So, in 1984 or 85, Paul Maritzis had a vision. He wanted to open up an establishment that would be hosting all ages shows, as well as, have a place to share his music. He was in a band as well. He was a businessman and made, a lot of the business choices, talked to friends, and was able to locate Studio 505. Studio 505 was located on 505 West, 500 South in the seedy underbelly of downtown Salt Lake City, and it was the beginning of the Speedway Cafe. Word has it that local bands Shot in the Dark had that space first, or they either played parties there or it was their rehearsal space, but they had a lot to do with the beginning of that studio. Then Paul and I think Steve Perry and ZJ Speed, they all decided that they would do a joint business venture, and they took over that space and turned it into the Speedway Cafe. History was born. The Speedway was basically a big rectangle of a warehouse. It was an oblong box. It had a giant open garage, a few office spaces, and some interior sort of business areas. But it would be perfect to have it for a place to have shows. At first, the Speedway needed to be built. There wasn't a lot going on the interior part of it. So, local musicians would show up, and they would start donating their time and help Paul and those guys clean up the grounds, fix plumbing, fix electrical, make sure the bathrooms were right, put in air conditioning, make sure that the heaters and the vents were working. There was a lot of work to be done. Clean up the grounds around the back where the bums were sleeping and stuff. Make sure there weren't any needles or drugs or bottles or broken glass and all that. It was quite an effort. They had to clean it up, and the people that were in the local bands, since they were musicians, they all knew Angle, they knew Paul. Paul was Paul Mall of the Massacre Guys for a while as well, so he had a bunch of musical friends, and they all donated their time. It was pretty cool. They came out of the woodwork to help make this place happen. I remember at the beginning, we had to build a big stage, and ZJ was there. He had all his tools out, and saws are going. People from Us at Midnight, George from House of Cards was there, as well as many others. And everybody was just kind of sweating it out. It was hot, and they were building the stage. Eventually, we built this big stage that had a drum riser on it. We painted it black. And then we went around with red paint and dripped red paint around the edges. And, it was all in preparation for this Halloween party, the first Halloween party. And we basically turned the stage into a big black cake with dripping red blood. It was awesome. In many of the photos later, the dripping blood was painted out, but there were remnants of it still. You can still see it along the edges of the stage, kind of a pinkish red. We called it the Big Blood Cake. And that was neat to see this stage being born by the efforts of musicians, local musicians. Paul handled a lot of the business ends and the details and that kind of stuff, but ZJ was pretty much the fix-it guy. He kind of lived in the backstage area. He had a van. He had all these tools. He was the maintenance, repair, construction electrician. He ran around that place fixing wires, putting in outlets, making sure things were grounded, making sure the plumbing worked in the bathrooms. They rebuilt the drinking room. He was very busy all the time, running around, and it was kind of funny because since Paul owned the place, I remember our friends, we would go on top of it and party during a gig, and we found a way to climb up there, and we'd get chased down by Zay. He didn't like us being up there. Or we'd be out and back. There used to be a sign by the back corner of the building where people would go back in there and sleep and drink, but there was a sign there, and we could climb up on that sign and get on the roof from there too and party. But we also had holes that we could go underneath, and it's because we spent so much time there with Paul in the earlier days, just kind of hanging out, dreaming about what the place was going to turn into, that we knew all the nooks and crannies. So the Speedway Cafe really was a home away from home for us. After that stage was built, plans were made, bands were lined up, and the flyers went out for that first Halloween party. And the Clocks played, Angle played, Us at Midnight played, and Backwashes also billed on there. But I don't know if I hung around long enough to see that, or I just can't quite remember that. But it was all set, the flyers went out, and that first party went off. It was pretty funny too, because the place was pretty empty. Paul and those guys somehow got a big row of theater seats from somewhere, and they just had them sitting out in the middle of the garage, so you could come and just sit down and take a break in these theater seats. People could sit there and talk, smoke cloves. It wasn't far away from the keg. You could take a break or just watch the party unfold like a movie. It was pretty cool. After that Halloween party, the Speedway just took off running and soon became one of the few major gathering places to see an underage show. And, it became booked all the time. The other places that were happening about that time were The Word, and Raunch Records promoted events, and they had them at the fairgrounds or different places, different stores where underage kids could go to without having to worry. Notably, they did a lot of shows at the Indian Center, which was rad, and the Community Center. It was venues like these, the Speedway, The Word, the Indian Center. They became sort of musical oases, if you will, in an otherwise disquieted sort of world. We were angsty teenagers, and this became a great outlet for that. dancing and music. So many of our friends were really talented musicians, and they played in, local bands in and around Salt Lake City when we were in high school. They were way ahead of the game, and very young when they were doing this. And since they were friends of ours, we loved the bands that they played in. And so these bands, the Potato Heads, the Boxcar Kids, Made for Life, just to name a couple, they had a following. We would follow them wherever they played, all over the Salt Lake Valley. And these people became local celebrities, if you will, at least in my mind. And we went to as many of their shows as we could. Many of them were at the Speedway. This kind of, looking back at all my old footage and thinking about it, there really was a Salt Lake City brat pack, if you will. It was made up of a group of individuals, musicians that were considered leaders in the community. They fronted many of the bands we loved. There were the Potato Heads, the Boxcar Kids, Massacre Guys, 004, House of Cards, Pepper Lake City, The Stench, Bad Yodelers, Shot in the Dark, Victims Willing, Maimed for Life, 8x9, Bored, The Clocks, Avon Conk, Buddy Hinton's Revenge, Subject to Change. That's just to name a few that I can remember, but these kids were all friends, and they were fronting all of these bands. People like John and Jamie Schumann, the brothers, they were just uber talented and still are musicians today doing stuff. Al Grossi, Aldine Strychnine, he's still out there doing it. Christopher Moore, awesome at guitars. Pat Munson, guitar singer. There's Brendan Welsh, awesome bass player. Steve Dallimore, Jim McGutter, Brad Barker, Victims Willing, and all the Victims Willing crew. There's John Clark, there was Hooter, Terrence, Jason, there was Johnny Moe, J.R. Rupel fronting the charge of bands and music exposure with his magazines, helping at the Word and stuff. Thomas Barth at the Word, and he was in Road Frisbee, which a lot of this footage is of. And Richie, the guitarist of Road Frisbee, just phenomenal. These guys are out there in these bands that were leading the charge, and we really just wanted to go see whatever it is they were doing. And I really appreciated having talented, artsy people around me. It was really neat. When I look back on it, I'm really happy to have met so many artists and musicians at that time. Places like the Speedway Cafe and the Word were where the action was from about, 1986 to 1990. The vitality of the youth movement seemed to die out around 1990 for me anyway. Many of us grew older, I grew older, and, we could get into the bars now and go see music there. The bars were loosening up and doing better shows. And also, when I would go to the Speedway shows, there were new elements of sort of violent youth groups that started showing up around 1990. They were like these racists, and they would show up in packs of kids, wearing jackboots and suspenders. Straight edgers and stuff also were there. They show up in groups of kids and kind of just attack anybody, including us old-time punkers that happened to brush into them during the slam pit or something, Lord forbid. So these violent kids would attack us, and if we attacked them, it could get pretty bad. So, I was in college, and we just really didn't want to fight anymore, honestly. We had other things to be doing, so I just kind of stopped going to the Speedway about then and focused on other things because I didn't like the violence. Occasionally there were some good shows, though, and towards the end there, it just kind of died out. One neat memory I have is that for a while I was Paul's medical officer at the Speedway Cafe. I had done a lot of training up at the University of Utah, and I had become an EMT, an emergency medical technician. And, I had a big jump kit, first aid kit, and so it just seemed like, why not do it? He hired me, so I would do it. I'd get to go see the shows for free and just be there if anything happened to anybody. I wasn't doing this in the earlier days, but towards the end, when it became more or less Speedway Productions, I was doing the events for being their first aid guy, and I didn't mind that. It was pretty cool. About the most I ever saw at the Speedway when I was there was somebody overdosing outside on something. I don't know. Some kid was out there laying on the ground, not very happy about things. And so I had to go out there. I took his vitals and stuff and just kind of stood by and monitored him until the ambulance showed up and carted him off. But that was about it. I also worked the Monsters of Rock tour out at the Great Salt Air, and that was pretty cool. No real injuries there, which is surprising. Allison Change played, I think, and I think we saw a sprained ankle at that one. Not a big deal. And one of my fond memories is working as a medical officer at the GBH concert at the fairgrounds with the Speedway Productions. That was really cool because, you know, I was in a booth that was behind the stage, so I got to sit in this booth and look out and watch them from behind, and I could see the crowd and everything, and just really get a great view of GBH and the Screaming Trees as they were performing. I remember it was neat. After the show, I was talking to the guy from the Screaming Trees about his tube screamer pedal, and we kind of hit it off and had a good conversation about that. But that's what I really enjoyed doing that kind of work. We also wrote an emergency preparedness protocol for the Speedway Cafe, where we assessed all the different, emergencies that could happen and made a manual for that. Paul and Zay, those guys were our friends, and because we helped out in the earliest days of the Speedway, we pretty much had run of the place. We loved that too, because we loved hanging out there. We had so much free reign that many times we were chased off the roof by Zay. We figured out how to get up there during gigs and party, and we'd get caught and he'd come out and chase us off there. We figured out where all the crawl spaces were underneath and where all the nooks and crannies were, all the secret places. We had a lot of fun. Our friends that were in road Frisbee, pretty much are in this footage here. I've got John Morris, Thomas Barth, Richie Glazer, and Jonathan Clark doing a gig, one of their last two gigs at the Speedway in 1990. So a lot of this footage will be of them performing, and it's really great footage because you get to see the interior. Angle was a band back in the day, and it was fronted by Ron Miller. It was a Salt Lake punk outfit that was really fun, and I met those guys through Paul, and Ron and Paul would play around town. They would play at the coffee shops, or they'd play at the Word, and they're in a lot of this footage here that I have. I shouldn't say a lot, they're in a few of these photographs that I have. They're performing at the Word, and it's kind of funny because Paul's the owner of the Speedway, but I have photos of him performing at the Word, which is neat because everybody was comrades. It illustrates how, friends from different businesses would establish and support other friends and other businesses around the community. The Word was only a block away from the Speedway, so when there were multiple events happening, it wasn't uncommon to walk back and forth between the two places. And this often made for a fun night of adventure due to the kind of seedy part of town it was in. It was down by the tracks, it was down by the bus station, under the viaduct, under the overpass. But they were close together, so it was neat. The Word and the Speedway would be an event for the weekend. That was part of the fun. That was part of the thrill, was walking around downtown between the two places. It was very urban. I have a recording of Carousel sort of interviewing Ron Miller of Angle, and I'll play a little snippet of that. I just wanted to mention the 21 and older room a little bit more. They knocked out the walls between the two offices. Those two offices served as Paul and Perry's bedrooms in the beginning, but they knocked out that wall and made about a 20 by 40 room that eventually had sort of cafe tables and chairs and a big counter and some sliding glass refrigerator doors, a lot like you would see in a gas station. And there would be a barkeeper there that would be in charge of the bar, but they didn't serve any booze. They had a few sandwiches maybe to make it seem like they're a restaurant, but they didn't really serve food either. So they were a restaurant that didn't serve food. They had some sandwiches, but they didn't really serve food, and it was kind of a bar where drinking was allowed, but they didn't serve booze. So it was pretty funny. what you'd have to do is you'd get all your buddies and stuff, and you'd show up and you'd bring in your cases of Black Label or Hams or Keystone or Pabst or whatever. Whatever was cheapest and you could get the most of on party night. We'd come in and you'd go into the 21 or older, room after showing them your card. There'd be some security guy with a big black flashlight and jackboots there doing security. You'd go in there and check your beer with the barkeep. And he'd take your beer and put it in the fridge. And then you'd ask for a beer and he'd get you a beer and you'd drink your beer in the drinking room. And that was kind of funny. I think you could tip the barkeeps, but it was a lot of work because that room would get packed. Kids would be all over those counters sitting there. They'd be all over the tables. They'd be drinking booze. They'd be asking for booze that wasn't theirs. The barkeepers had to keep up on it so that they wouldn't give out your booze to somebody else who was claiming it was theirs, which happened all the time. It was hilarious. But in between shows, that room would fill back up, and everybody in there carrying on and laughing. And a lot of people met and flirted, and all kinds of stuff was going on in there. One of my favorite memories was bumping into Jennifer Habel and Yo. They were in there for some show. I think it was possibly Road Frisbee, and we were all in there hanging out, drinking, and she was in a really good mood. She had just bought her New Kids on the Block t-shirt. She cut off the arms to it, scratched out all the words for the New Kids on the Block, and called, wrote in with red and black markers, New Kids on the Rack. And she just thought that was funny. She and Yo were in there carrying on. I remember sitting in there with friends and them, and we just had so much fun. And to this day, I can still see her smiling and laughing, and those two just carrying on. They had mouths like sailors, those two. They could really just, really turns heads with some of the stuff that they would say. Jennifer took photos all over the scene. She was famous for being able to get backstage and get the best shots of the different musicians when Black Flag or, the Minutemen or TSOL, the Bad Brains came through. She would be in there and she would get the shots. Some of these shots of Road Frisbee were done by her, so we thought it was really neat that we got to share some of her photos. The Speedway Cafe was really a special place, and a lot of great memories happened there. And Paul Maritzis, CJ Speed, they were the ones that did it, and they'll go down in history as providing a great venue where some of the best shows ever happened in Salt Lake City. I'm really thankful to have been a part of that, and I feel pretty happy that I found these few negatives in my piles of negatives. I didn't even know they existed until recently. So this is just kind of a shout out to the local music scene of Salt Lake City and the few venues like the Speedway, the Word, Ranch, the Union Center, Community Center, different places like that provided a place for us kids to all meet and a community to be bored under music. Thanks for checking it out.
Thanks for a lot of ways, and this is Angle, and we'll have one of the real Angle people on after this to tell you why you should give us money. And you can call up while Angle is on. The number is 363-5725. Call up now.
We're KRCL 91 FM, Salt Lake City, Utah. Listeners Community Radio, Salt Lake. Not Gestapo yet. Alright, that's Angle for a second, and like, you know, they're pretty good. They're a new band that's been around a lot, and unfortunately they're too young to play at the Roxy, but here's some more.
On Broadway, they say there's always magic in the air. When you're walking down the street and you ain't had enough to eat, the cleaner rubs right off and you're nowhere. Broadway. Chicks or something else on Broadway. But looking at them just gives me the blues. Cause are you gonna make some time when all you got is one thing down? And one thing down won't even shine your shoes. Broadway. Catch a Greyhound, bus the whole day, I say. Right and wrong, I know they are. Cause I can play this here guitar. And I won't quit till I'm a star. On Broadway, 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 on Broadway.
Alright, that's Angle, and like I've got a member of Angle here, and he's going to tell me why you should donate money, because like these guys are getting support from us, and they really deserve the support we're giving them for sure, but I don't know, we all need the support for sure. It's like an ego trip for all of us, and I don't know, why should they give us money, Ron? Come on, man.
Well, they could give me a little money, man. I know I could use a little money, so I figured maybe the station could use some money too, you know. I think most people need money about now, you know, these days.
Yeah, it's almost Christmas time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they should give us a present for Christmas, don't you think?
Yeah.
Early one?
They give me a present too.
Yeah, well, we just gave you a present. We played your jive band.
Well, somebody call and give me a present, though.
Okay, well, call
You're
it.
gonna give it to the station, right?
Well, okay.
Call and give Ron a present, and And, you know, that means that Ron will have a donation, too. And he really does want to donate, but, you know, I don't know. He needs to donate really bad because he gets his music played on here for free. And, like, I usually take payola under the table to play any jive band that comes into Salt Lake asking me to play their tape.
And what have we gotten out of this for playing this?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Just
Not even enjoyment, musical enjoyment?
It took up some time.
Oh, all right.
What are you going to do?
You guys want to talk to us in the Marathon Center, I think. Okay?
Yeah, we do.
What do you want to say?
We got some pledges here. We got a pledge here from Allentown.
Look out everybody, I see someone coming, it's Batman. Look out everybody, I see someone coming, it's Batman. Who's that behind him? I see someone coming, it's Batman. Yeah, yeah, do the bat to say. Yeah, yeah, do the bat to say. Yeah, yeah, do the bat to say. Yeah, yeah, his mama's name is Lucy. Lucy in the sky with Batman. He's to the justice. Now it's gonna bust us. Shooting with the back gun. Throwing in the back with money. I see someone coming, it's Batman. Look out everybody, I see someone coming, it's Batman. Look out everybody, I see someone coming, it's Batman. Who's that behind him? I see someone coming, it's Batman. Yeah, yeah, do the back to say. Yeah, yeah, do the back to say. Yeah, yeah, do the back to say. Yeah, yeah, his mama's name is Lucy. Lucy in the sky with Batman. He's the super justice. Now it's gonna bust us. He's shooting with the back gun. Throwing with the back big body. I see someone coming, it's Batman.
Alright, that's Angle for a second, and like, you know, they're pretty good. They're a new band that's been around.
Hey, we're playing Sunday on University Street, 7 p.m.
please say yeah. If you got someplace to go, then get there. If you got something to lose, go lose it. If you got someone to hold on to, better hold on to it. Don't misuse it, hold on to it, grasp it.
down at 7-Eleven on 13th East, Sucker South. Do you have any news for the people out there? Anything you want to say? Any comments about the Mayfest?
What's your job for Bob?
Time's come, I gotta get out of here. I said I've done my time. Living childhood friends, the friends never end. I laughed about in the mind. People come and people go away, telling me the things to say. People are the people fall astray, tied to control. But my good friend wouldn't fall astray, just like the good friend from the past. And she lost me, she lost herself. I know it wouldn't last, no. People come and people go away, telling me the things to say. People are the people fall astray, tied to control. thinking. Crossing the sinking in quicksand. You need some space, I need a break. You turn to snake. For all the feelings from the past. Remembrance is good, but it doesn't last. If you understand, you let it pass. Not meaning to hurt me nonetheless. I guess I wasn't thinking. Crossing the sinking in quicksand. You need some space, I need a break. You turn to snake, bitch. Welcome back, my friend. You see, I'm glad to join my time. Did the Hawaiian swing. Saw things that money can't buy. Couldn't tell him what to do. It amazes me and you. Oh, you got to fight to keep it right. You've got to ride. He's a person you have to meet. Crazy for dirty but neat. He's a guy to idolize. Happiness reigns supreme in his eyes. In his eyes. Happiness reigns supreme. Person you have to meet. Crazy for dirty but neat. He's a guy to idolize. Happiness reigns supreme in his eyes. In his eyes. Happiness reigns supreme. Do what you want, think as you please. Stop the first from moving on my knees. Do what you want, think as you please. Not the first time for you. He'll take the nation with his perspiration. You'll know him as Matthew Gowan. He's a person you have to meet. Crazy for dirty but neat. He's a guy to idolize. Happiness reigns supreme in his eyes. In his eyes. Happiness reigns supreme. Happiness, loneliness. Happiness reigns supreme. Welcome back, my friend. You see, I'm glad to join my time. Did the Hawaiian swing.
Thank you. Oh, more potato heads. Coming right up.
Get off your butt and get on the floor. Time to get away, well, time to walk astray. Well, love plays on only not see us stare. To walk him out, prison of me, always hours in the station. Trying to figure out the relation. Time to be past the time to come. Hide the sorrow, heavy and hide the sorrow, having the fun. Coincidence too quick. I was seeing that alone. Goal was just a hallucination. Trying to figure out the relation. Turning the past and the times to come. And the sorrow, having
the fun.
The sorrow. The things you remember will kill you! Welcoming a good dream, welcoming another sin, waste time loving mine.
What can we say? It still rocks. After all this time, 1983.
You know, the last time we played, the only people that would stand in front of us were a bunch of skinheads, so if you guys have any integrity, please get off your ass and just stand. Come on, I can tell that the blood is flowing to your asses at this time. I know you, and I know you, and I know you, and I know you. Up, 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 up. Look it up. T-Line!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Inspiration, determination, courage out. Intoxication, humiliation, sperm Joe. Not Joe. It's what to think about yourself. Well, I find society, I think I'm peaceful. Hope some brains will think the same. Some brains kind of pain. And that's not right. And it's just not. But I find society, I think I'm peaceful. Hope some brains will think the same. It's a life, get you shot. If you got something to say, please say yeah. And if you got something to go, then get there. If you got something to lose, go lose it. And if you got someone to hold on to, you better hold on to well. Don't you hold on to well. Respect. Think about yourself. Ozone, rainforest, plastic, landfill, fill up, you have to take yourself out. Look at people that compare, remembering what you've been taught. Noticing people that live in despair, lonely feeling feels the air. Living in alleys, highway in the skies. But on the street, there's no place to hide if we only had more government funding for the homeless. And the shelters take them in out of the coast, up to us to save our brothers. It's what you're doing, what you think about yourself. Take them in out of the coast, up to us to save our brothers. It's what you're doing, what you think about yourself. Better wise.
I thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
You're
Everybody
welcome.
say yo.
Yo.
Everybody say yo yo. Yo. They ruined my song with Beethoven. Zip on the bug. Zip on the bug. Free me on my mind. Leave me with the time. Let me walk alone. Well, it's time to get home. Maybe it's all a waste of time, but it takes a try if you want to get back. Maybe it's all a waste of time. When I was so bored, but I never kept track. I now was a man, and I never go back. Now I stand here as some memories flood come. Well, it's time to accept it. You're accepted. Pick your nose and close the door. Put your boogers in the dirt. Pick your nose and close the door. Put your boogers in the dirt. With the worms, with the worms, with the worms, with the worms, with the worms. Pick your nose and close the door. Put your boogers in the dirt. Pick your nose and close the door. Put your boogers in the dirt. With the worms, with the worms, with the worms, with the worms, with the worms. I don't have to tell you that a 5-year-old wrote this song. You probably know that, but in case you didn't, this song's dedicated to Mr. Darian Morris. He'll be 6 tomorrow. Let me walk alone. Well, it's time to get home. Maybe it's all a waste of time, but it takes a try if you want to get by. Maybe it's all a waste of time. When I was a boy, well, I never kept track. And now as a man, I never go back. Now I stand here as the memories flood come. It's time to accept it. Blah. This is kind of a sing-along. Come with me, I'll make you see a better part. Reality, I'll talk you high, I'll take you low, I'll take you down the soul. So goes make it a concern, I watch you burn. I'll make you see what you smile, then to me, I'll make you see what it means to me. And even though you don't understand the lyrics, you should know what it means to you. What does it mean when you throw your garbage away? Away, away, away. Cycle now, for the future, this link here for me was special word. Save our mother, the holy land. Save our mother, the holy sea. I'll take my advice. This is welcome back, my friend, you see. I'm glad to join my time with the Hawaiian swing. Saw things that money can't buy, couldn't tell him what to do. It amazes me and you, oh, you got to fight to keep it right. You've got to ride. He's a person you have to meet. Crazy become dirty